Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your week. I'm moving a little slower than usual because I am wildly hungover. And I believe my co host on Mondays might be as well. We were both in the same city at the same time. I'm in Chicago right now, but my co host is back to do the pop culture roundup. You know her from the podcast So True with Sophie Ross in its second season right now. We go hit subscribe right now and we go listen to all of those and we rate it 5 stars and all of this stuff. Also,
I have an exciting guest. Sorry to interrupt. I have an exciting guest on this week's
wait,
episode.
Sophie, I didn't even know you're here. What up, Sophie Ross? Sophie's
Guys,
here.
on my podcast this week, I have Lindsay Hubbard, and
What?
I think you guys are going to really like the episode. So,
Oh
tune in.
my God. Wait, can you tease? Did you talk about Winter House at all?
Yeah, we did. We got into like the nitty gritty, and I told her, I was like, if there's anything that you think that we need to like remove from the episode, just let me know. And she was like, no, I think we're good. And I'm like, whoa.
Was there a Bravo PR rep on with you?
Yeah. So,
Oh, wait, can you tease us with one? Is there one thing you can give us that comes out in the episode? We're just like, do you talk about the Austin of it all? Do you talk
yeah,
about
we talk about the Austin of it all. We talk about Craig. We talk about Crypto Lindsay. She gives her thoughts on the Crypto Lindsay.
wasn't that fucking rude? Like,
Yeah.
isn't Lindsay Hubbard a beautiful, like, she's hot?
Exactly.
Wait,
But
but
it's
why
like
is it
you
bad
have
to
to
look like Lindsay
listen.
Hubbard?
You have to listen and hear Lindsay's reaction to that. She is just like so mature and confident and just doesn't let those fools bother her. So
I
she's an
mean, but it
inspiration to
is
us
funny
all.
though to watch him and her and Carl, like they're so in lovey dovey
Yeah,
land. And he's
yeah.
like, I've never been the happy, like, and you really believe him. But it's weird because the other cast of Winter House, they all seem in their own like kind of trauma still. Like Carl and Lindsay kind of seem like a healthy. I mean, they're kind of that cutesy, annoying couple too, a little bit, but they're healthy. The rest of Winter House is completely tragic.
Exactly. And that's why they're so bitter about Lindsay and Carl being happy. Like hurt people hurt people. So, yeah.
Dude, that is awesome. That comes out on Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. Yep.
I'm not going to release an episode Tuesday. I just want to hear. I want to hear that episode. I like that is the
It's not
episode I
even
want.
worth competing with me, honestly, because like you're just gonna lose. Wait, so what'd you do last night in
Dude.
Chicago?
Oh, okay. So I'm my best friend Dusty from high school. We were kind of his dad passed away this year, and we're kind of doing a catch up and a celebration of his life, and we've just been kind of just catching up on memories. But we went to this one bar, forgot what it was called, but I've never heard of this Malort. This
Oh, it's sick.
it's
sick.
disgusting. It's this shot, you guys, that tastes like what is it like? It's like grapefruit, but like rotten grapefruit. It's made of wormwood, and then they all thought it was funny that I hadn't done it, so then they kept making me do more the shots, and it was just bad. So anyways, it's been a great time catching up. We're gonna go to some
Wormwood. Not wormwood.
yeah.
Wait, so so basically the reason that I feel like we could have like connected and hung out, I made a last minute trip to Chicago because
That was
my
me.
boyfriend had a work trip and they put him up in the Ritz. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to stay at the Ritz. My
The Ritz.
sister
Wow, you're like home alone. Like you're staying at the plaza. Wow.
I didn't want to leave. We actually were going to stay with my sister for a couple nights and we ended up just staying at the Ritz because we got like a good deal. But he's Jewish and for some reason really wanted to go to like the Kris Kringle market, some outdoor Christmas market. And it was so freaking cold. It was so cold.
So you went to a Kris Kringle, and what that's interesting. You had mentioned
Kris Kringle. Is that Santa?
That's Santa.
Why? But I thought his name was Santa. Why do we call him Kris Kringle?
I think Kris Kringle's his Christian name.
It's his government name.
It's his Finsta account. It's Kris Kringle.
Oh my
okay,
God.
okay. So, okay, I'm this is a mess of a show, you guys, but I do want to on Friday's episode, I talked about it. I was kind of proud of Friday's episode. I think Sophie, you would have been proud of it, but I wish you had been on it because I hate that we have to keep having these discussions in 2022. I know it's like got to be horribly frightening for you, especially. But you just mentioned, oh, my boyfriend's Jewish, and we talk about how you're Jewish. And right now, I've never heard more hatred towards Jewish people in my life. And you've had to grow up this way, but like I know it's like it's gotten far past like acceptable, and I'm not even talking. We're now beyond Kanye. Like, just your thoughts in the last week. Have you been horrified in a different way than you were the week before that?
Well, yeah. And I think that something that I've had conversations with my family, my boyfriend, my Jewish friends, we grew up around Holocaust survivors. I've actually been to Auschwitz. I went on a Jewish youth group trip to Poland to concentration camp. So it's like we have spent our entire lives learning about the Holocaust because that's just our culture. And I've had my boyfriend, for instance, is like, how do people think that the Holocaust didn't happen? I'm like, they didn't grow up like we did. They
Yep.
didn't. And I'm
Yeah.
not making excuses. I'm just saying that, like, if you're Jewish, it's something that you have been learning about and hearing about firsthand for your entire life. And I know that, people often are like, oh my God, we learn about the Holocaust so much in school. Like, shut up. And I'm like, clearly Holocaust education in this country is lacking if there are so many people that still like to believe that the Holocaust didn't happen, including Kanye. I feel like that's something that's kind of gotten overshadowed. Like, yeah, he said he likes Hitler, he likes Nazis.
Yeah, no. He said we've got to stop dissing Nazis. He said that.
Yeah.
That was a word. We've got to stop dissing
I
Nazis.
love how Alex Jones, like, if you're making Alex Jones is like, I'm really overwhelmed right now.
I can't. I'm not going to agree with. I don't go with. I don't go with it all that one. Anyway, but by
You're
the way,
Alex
Alex Jones
Jones
kept it on. He kept him on for 3 hours, though, Sophie. Alex Jones, like for all, like, yeah, he went against the Nazi crap, but Alex Jones still gave him a platform for 3 hours, and he was
Exactly.
the Benjamin not Netanyahu thing. Did you see what he was doing with the puppet? Like, he had a little net that he was calling Benjamin Netanyahu, and Kanye was doing, like, it was a full mental breakdown.
Oh my God, I didn't actually wait. I did see a clip of that part because I obviously didn't watch. I was like, I'm
No.
not giving numbers to Alex Jones and Kanye. But yeah, that is, an issue that people keep giving him a platform because that's how this happens. And unfortunately, there are a lot of idiots that think that Kanye is a genius. They, have anti-Semitic, they're predisposed to anti-Semitism. So seeing Kanye kind of validate these beliefs is, it's scary. There are a lot of people, and again, it's like something that, Jews are so used to learning about and hearing about is the Holocaust. And obviously it happened. It's not even like a question or anything.
No, that's but the fact is that, like you said, you grew up learning about this. Like, my friend who I'm with right now, he's Jewish as well. He grew up learning. He went to concentration camps. I grew up like I read, like, I watched Schindler's List. I read books about it, but like, yeah,
Night by Elie Wiesel was like a very big book in high
yes.
school. Yeah.
But like, kids, though, like, I was thinking about my nephew and niece. If they like Kanye West, then they listen to this and they're going like, oh, is that the guy? Like, oh, he says something about the Holocaust like it didn't actually happen. That shit then infiltrates their head. They don't get taught the correct way. And this is how bullshit spreads. Like, I'm sorry, this is not a mental health discussion anymore. Like, I'm sorry, when you start actually saying things like the Holocaust are fake or anything like that, I'm done with your mental health discussion. I'm done. Like, I'm done.
For sure. It does not. I mean, a lot of people have mental illnesses and they don't start spewing Nazi rhetoric. So that's like just not an excuse. And yeah, I mean, also speaking,
you froze up.
I think the Kanye subreddit that's turned into like a Holocaust remembrance page, which is actually very wholesome. And someone made a post about Oscar Schindler, and I was like, it's really been a while since I've watched Schindler's List. And if you're looking to educate yourself about the Holocaust, watch it. I mean, it's like, it doesn't compete with like real education of the Holocaust, but Schindler's List and The Pianist are very realistic depictions of of Jewish life during that time and Jewish death. Boy in the Striped Pajamas, not a great movie. Don't watch that.
That's the Robin Williams one?
No, Boy in the Striped Pajamas was, I don't even know who's in that, but it really just Jews don't really like that movie because it shows everything from the Nazi perspective, and then it makes you try to like feel bad for the Nazis. It's like you should feel bad for the Jews.
But like that's the other thing too. It's like Kanye's like, I don't hate Hitler. I don't hate but Kanye, you're not God. Let God deal with Hitler. Let God deal with Hitler.
Also, Hitler did not invent the microphone or highways.
What Sophie's referring to is on this, he said Hitler invented the microphone I use. He did good things, and Hitler in no way invented the microphone.
Hitler wishes he invented the microphone. Like, stop giving him. That's the other thing. It's like, why are people such pick-me's for Hitler? And something that's like the Black Hebrew Israelite ideology is that fake quote, that fake Hitler quote that talks about how Black people are actually God's jewels. And I was like, why are you guys being pick-me's for Hitler? He did not like Black people either. He was obsessed with the Aryan race. That was his whole thing.
Hitler would have hated Kanye West.
Hitler
would have hated Kanye West. That's the sad truth.
I'm sorry. Not only did Hitler hate Black people, he hated people with mental health issues. Yeah.
So Sophie, what yours and just be honest, has he lost your vote for 2024, Kanye?
Yeah, I definitely want to vote for someone who's running on the platform of Hitler was a good guy. That's the exact type of person I want as my president.
And by the way, this Hitler killed him. Hitler's been dead for like so long now. Like the fact that he's getting more publicity than like some of the Kardashians are now, which is just wild. Like
the devil works hard, but Hitler's PR person.
Hitler's having a major glow up out there.
He's on Kris Jenner's. He's like literally on her client list.
Sorry, Corey. Chris is going to start dating dead Hitler.
Oh my God.
They also, did you see that Kanye thing where they also turned, I think it was another like a Kanye fan page into a Taylor Swift fan page?
Yeah. No, it's like the Kanye subreddit. It's turned into Taylor Swift Holocaust remembrance. And of course, there are people in the subreddit that are pushing back on it and being like, I did not sign up for this Holocaust stuff. And it's like, well, that's where you're at. And that's
also get off the computer then. Go take a walk. I don't know. What do you
go touch grass then. Why are you on Reddit?
Speaking of Taylor Swift, as we start moving on, I just wanted to but as an audience, you guys have been great. And like I got a lot of positive emails about the show on Friday, but I'm just saying there's no room for this. There's not even an inch that you can give. Like there's no
ally. And also, thank you for having such amazing listeners that are also allies, because I have gotten several DMs from listeners being like, hey, I just want you to know that I'm here for you. I'm sure this is a really painful, scary time, but I listen to you, on Brian Bailey, and you always do try to educate us. And I've just gotten so many nice messages.
That's what I'm saying, Sophie. It's so positive every time. That's why I know you're probably sick of talking about it, but it's like, I think it's important to talk about it and not sweep anything under the rug anymore.
No, for sure. And I said in one of my DMs that I was DMing a listener, and I said, oh, we're definitely going to talk about this on our Monday episode. So, I think it's important for us to have these conversations, especially as a Jewish person.
I bet Lindsay Hubbard didn't have this important conversation with you. You and your new best friend, Lindsay Hubbard.
Oh my God. Is someone jealous?
I think I'm jealous. I think I'm fully jealous right now.
It's okay, Ryan.
Okay. Taylor Swift, we do have to mention this. How are you feeling about Midnights?
Wait, I thought we talked about this already.
We did, but I was trying to talk about in the reference to the Ticketmaster lawsuit that is happening from her fans that just got announced a couple days ago.
Yeah, I mean, Ticketmaster really fucked up. They dropped the ball big time. And I think that, unpopular opinion, maybe, I think that if anyone can, control Ticketmaster's price gouging or have a say in it, it's Taylor Swift. And I don't think that she really did enough to assuage this this problem.
Well,
I
no,
think that she is
yeah.
not totally innocent in all this. I like Taylor Swift a lot, love her music. But I think there are, like, Ed Sheeran, for instance, had turned off. There's something that he did with Ticketmaster where the price gouging wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Dynamic pricing is what it's called. He turned
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Taylor Swift of all people could have done this, but instead, she made probably like $1 billion in a
Well, and
day.
she released a statement saying that she was assured that Ticketmaster could handle this, but also it is just very interesting what they basically did, you guys, is that we talked about this before, but the pre-sale took place and then the general sale just got canceled completely. And there were still dates that all those tickets have not been sold. So that means that Ticketmaster is opening those up to third-party vendors where they can so what has happened is Taylor Swift fans have sued Ticketmaster. They accused Ticketmaster of intentional deception and alleges fraud, price fixing, and antitrust violations because Ticketmaster also is in partnership with Live Nation, who owns most of the music venues in this country. So Ticketmaster sells the tickets, Live Nation has the venues. Together, they are one entity. And that's how you end up having to pay $20,000 for a floor seat to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it's a monopoly, which is, again, it's why you don't want monopolies.
But I mean, I guess this is actually going to probably get broken up because of Taylor Swift. But I do have to imagine that Taylor Swift had to have been aware that this kind of pricing was going to happen. Like she knows her popularity.
Of course. And also it's the fact that the tour specifically is the Eras tour, which means every single Taylor Swift fan. I feel like if you just have a go on tour for one album,
yeah,
it's like, okay, maybe I'm not a huge fan of this album. I don't need to go on this tour. But she hasn't toured in like 4 years, and she's doing every single album, every single, like all of her greatest hits from every single era of hers. Like everyone's gonna want to go, obviously. Like it's no surprise. But yeah, she definitely failed her fans here. And I know that diehard Taylor Swift fans are going to be like, it was Ticketmaster. I'm like, I think that Taylor has, more say than she's letting on.
Yeah, I just wonder what because for somebody that is so fan oriented, I do wonder, what her thought process was through this. And at the same point, I understand she's only one person, but for somebody that takes such care of her fandom or even just clues within her music and how much fun she has with like mysteries involving her work, I just wonder why this turned out the way it did. And I'm curious because it's going to eventually break up, I believe. I think this will lead to like actually a good something that Ticketmaster will end up losing this lawsuit. Another lawsuit that actually got dropped this week, which I am curious your thoughts on, is the Balenciaga ad campaign. Balenciaga was going to sue their advertising company for $25 million, and then they dropped the lawsuit because they realized, wait, what's your whole take on this? So
my take is someone that works in marketing and has worked with ad agencies and all of that on the brand side, because that's kind of what I do for my full-time job. The brand has final say on literally every single element, every single detail of an ad campaign, even when you use an outside agency. So yeah, that was bullshit. They were just clearly trying to play the blame game and get some of the blame off of them. I feel like a lot of the conversations around this have turned very QAnon-y. The thing that I cannot, and I was talking about this with some of my coworkers also, I work in fashion, so we've all been talking about this. But I was talking to my coworkers about it, and we're like, something that we can't like grasp, why these obscure like papers, these obscure court cases, like what's with the documents? No one has like explained that part yet.
Guys, what she's referring to is that it's like a specific court case against child pornography that happened to be on these desks in the background.
Yeah.
Listen. Yeah.
Like obscure little details. Like I feel like they've really apologized over and over again for putting harnesses on the teddy bears that they had the children hold. But it's like, I have questions about the obscure documents. Yeah. Like, that's what I don't understand. How did that happen?
Well, also, I mean, first off, like I wouldn't have even known about this unless it was like just reading all of the crap online, because I don't shop at Balenciaga. I'll never shop at Balenciaga. I can't afford Balenciaga. I don't even know if they sell clothes. Like, and also, do they sell kids clothes? Why were kids in the fucking ad to begin with?
I have no
I
idea.
don't think they sell kids clothes. They sell adult clothes.
The only thing that I want from Balenciaga is a Le Cagole bag. So if anyone listening to this wants to get me one,
Sophie's willing to change her opinion on some of the ads.
and other than that's where I'm like, I hope that the prices for Balenciaga Le Cagole bags go down, because that's the only thing I want from them. Everything else is gross, and I don't care about Balenciaga.
But you're exactly right. Like I was talking to the audience last week about I've worked in commercials a lot, and like they would have reps on even set when we were shooting from the company signing off on absolutely. And they would also go so far as to just say shit so they could act like they were like, I'm a part of this process too. So everything was like over like a fine-tooth comb, every production. Everyone signs off on it. So there's no fucking way that nobody from Balenciaga goes, hey, by the way, what's on those papers in the background? There's just no way. So what is then why so then is this some sort of weird fucking pedophilia cabal, and why are they putting it in an advertising? I mean, what is the purpose of this?
I mean, I don't know. What is the purpose? What is the context here? What is the excuse for the obscure documents? I don't know. It's very strange. But again, I think a lot of the conversations have turned. What bothered me about the conversation, I think, and this was prior to Kanye's Alex Jones interview, people were like, oh, Kanye got dropped by his banks for being a little bit offensive on social media. And here's Balenciaga. And I'm like, first of all, he didn't get dropped by his banks. That, was debunked. Second of all, let's not like compare the two. And then it's getting all conspiracy theory with this cabal that Jews are probably involved. It's like all getting very QAnon-y. And I'm just like,
I mean, like I posted a thing on Instagram, you guys, where, Kim in Kim Kardashian fashion was like, what do you guys want to see on season 3 of the Kardashians? Do you want to do pranks? Do you want to do this? And I wrote, I would like to see how you handle a conversation of anti-Semitism in your household, because that to me is like, and by the way, people mostly understood what I meant, but there were like those Kim diehard supporters of like, it's not her fault. I'm like,
something similar. And I think that I tweeted something along the lines of, I'd like to see you reconciling with the fact that the father of your children is a Hitler-loving anti-Semite.
Exactly.
And I think that, he has so much influence, not only on the world, but on their children. Like, I'm curious, what are those conversations like, so that you can make sure that your children aren't being raised with those same beliefs? How are you making sure that you are using your influence to maybe like, I don't know, eclipse his, because he has so much influence, you have so much influence, and there's so much good that she could be doing to counteract his. I know it's not her problem anymore, but still.
But no, see, this is, but like, and I know, but I was saying, like, isn't it weird that like we usually have to leave this up to women, like to have these the hard conversations usually end up being on the mom sometimes. And this is what I was saying is that Kim does have to, she's going to be the one that has to pick up these pieces. She's going to be the one that has to sit these kids down. And they just signed their divorce custody. All their divorce got settled on Monday of this past week, which isn't that insane that document got signed, and then by the end of the week, like Kanye's literally forcing Kim's hand to now sue him for full custody. Because think about our parents, like when we were growing up, we listen, like our parents would say shit that I still remember, like, like good, like be kind to this person, always look to the left, always look to the right. You think Kanye becomes a perfect parent when he's around Northwest? No, he's still the same fucking dude that's probably spewing anti-Semitic bullshit around those kids.
Right. And also the fact that so many stories have come out that so many stories have come out that he's been saying that he loves Hitler for like a really long time.
Yeah.
For years, and it's been edited out of that show he did, the Netflix one with David Letterman. So it's like, if he's been saying this stuff on television sets for years, I find it hard to believe that he hasn't shown that side of himself, like to Kim. Like, that's why I feel like it's almost like, And of course, you know, it's kind of like the perfect time for the Kris Jenner propaganda machine where
Well, it's like we keep putting up bigger
immediately
trees. We're like, all of a sudden, Kim's like, he's like, I love Nazis. And Kim's like, look at my gigantic Christmas trees in my backyard that I just got.
Did you see that story though that TMZ posted? They were like, she's really putting the brakes on her Balenciaga partnership. She was supposed to wear a bunch of outfits, but she's not anymore. And I was like, oh my God, this is straight from Kris Jenner.
And by the way, Kim is that, but well, that's the other thing. Cause I was like, oh my God, Kim's going to have to make a statement. Kim's forced her hand. And they're like, okay, where's Kim? And then I look and she's like, Art Basel wearing a Bjork shirt. Like, Kim, tell me your favorite Bjork song or album. Like, Kim's in Art Basel with Chloe, with that Dave Grutman, Food God, all the weirdos. They're all partying it up in Art Basel. I'm like, dude, maybe now's the time not to be at Art Basel. Maybe like, that's what I'm saying. Maybe the show does need to end. Like, the Kardashian season 2 ended last week or a week and a half ago. And it's like, there's so many amazing elements to it, and it's really well produced, but it has gotten so big and involving billionaires and politics and all of this stuff that I don't think they can continue to show that, because we know the reality behind the scenes. They've never once talked about Astroworld. They will not talk about this. They only talked about Tristan one episode at the beginning and then kind of like, stopped mentioning him. So the reality of the reality, we're not even, we're just seeing wish fulfillment now with Kardashians on their show. And their lives are actually so much more dangerous, where I think the show needs to be done.
Well, like, I mean, I know that Hulu doesn't release numbers, but I would say that they probably agree with you. I don't think many people are watching. I think that people tuned in for the beginning of season 1 when they were like, what's the difference going to be with the Hulu show? But I think that it's proven to be the same old, boring, scripted, overly produced nothingness.
And by the way, the only thing that I would be interested to show is that they've obviously made a deal where Scott's not even really allowed to be in it anymore because Courtney got her way. And Scott actually seems like the person that would be willing to actually tell the truth about that he's not doing well right now. And he's completely off the show except for 2 small scenes. And
I noticed a lot when Kim tweeted that. I saw some tweet that was like, Kim Kardashian. Like, my impression of Kim Kardashian is being like, I just discovered The White Lotus, you guys. The show is so good. What are your theories?
Oh, well, yeah. I do want to talk to you about White Lotus in one second.
I want to talk about White Lotus also. I'm so excited for the new episode tonight. Oh my God. But anyway, I feel like that was the number one response I saw to Kim's tweet about like what people want to see on season 3 of Kardashians, who were like, we want more Scott.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to give us bullshit, give us Scott bullshit. Like, if you're going to like not tell us the truth and kind of like, I would rather Scott be a part of it. Like, don't tell this man he's your family, even if he's not in the family anymore, and then just ditch him.
Remember when he was dating Kimberly Stewart? Are they still dating?
I think that was just a couple months ago. I think they might be. I mean, I just heard that he's not been in a good place, from what I've heard from a couple people. So I'm curious what all that. And by the way, in the season 2 trailer, they had showed Travis's and Courtney's wedding. So that didn't get put into season 2. So there must have been some really weird editing, and they must decided to save that for season 3, I guess. But who knows? I do want to talk to you about my favorite conspiracy theorist, not Balenciaga, but White Lotus. I am fucking loving White Lotus season 2 so much. They have done it again.
So good. It is so good, and it's arguably better than season 1.
Isn't that crazy? Because at first I was like, there's no way they could replicate how good, because season 1 was great, but they did it. They fucking
so good. So good.
Have you gotten into like the TikToks and because the artwork, they're like all the theories. We're gonna potentially talk spoilers here, you guys.
I've been reading the subreddit.
Dude, that's the beautiful song in the beginning. Yeah. I think so. Those guys are obviously scammers, right?
The high-end gays, yeah.
The high-end gays. But don't you think Jennifer Coolidge's husband has something to do with it?
He's the street cowboy that Quentin was
from Wyoming. Yeah, right? Like that's what okay, good. Okay, that's what I was thinking that too. Because I was like, he was talking on the phone mysteriously. And if you go back and I rewatched the first episode of White Lotus season 2, and I thought it was just one body in the ocean, but they said there was multiple bodies dead in the first episode.
In the first episode. And I think that kind of has raised the stakes a little bit because we know that it's not just one dead person. We know it's multiple dead people. And
I think it's the high end. I think it's the high end gaze and Jennifer Coolidge's assistant that dies.
Portia?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like Jennifer Coolidge is definitely safe because I think that she is going to be on future seasons. I don't know that
100%. I do. Yeah.
People have said that the leg looks female. I think that Daphne and Harper are still gonna survive. I think that if anything, Cameron, aka Theo James, and his buddy Ethan.
Yeah.
I think that's the storyline that I'm most intrigued by is the two couples. So
okay, wait. So you see, there's people who are like, oh, Theo James is going to hook up with or try to hook up with Aubrey Plaza. Something's going to go down. Or because that was such a great episode last episode when he was like, yeah, you used to like any girl I showed interest in, you would try to sleep with her immediately and beat me to the punch. And it was like, and she was getting wasted and stuff like that. So I was like, and then also Theo James, just so you guys know, he admitted this week that they used a prosthetic penis for the penis shot in episode 1 when he changed in front of Aubrey Plaza. I just wanted everybody to know.
He's so hot though.
But I just know that's why
that's
why I'm so happy that's not his real penis, because I was like, oh my God, he's hot and he has that huge dong. I was so mad. And then he admitted it's fake. So now
he probably does.
No, it's probably very small. Very small.
Ryan, if that makes you feel
it does
better.
Make me feel better.
Okay, that's okay. We'll go with that, Ryan.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
He has, it's very small. But the Aubrey Plaza, like I've never liked Aubrey Plaza this much in something.
Oh, I love her character. I think that it's so nuanced. Like I just think the acting has been like so amazing this season. Like just the expressions you can see, like Dude. Without them speaking a word, you can read their face, kind of. I feel like
Michael Imperioli and his dad and the son. Like, there's not like, and the two sex workers. Like there's nobody bad on this show. Like there's no.
Oh, they're all amazing.
Yeah. So you guys, if you haven't been checking out White Lotus, I really, really, really highly recommend.
I like Jack, the nephew, aka Escort, who's like. That sounds pretty boring. How about we get some rice balls and hit the town, eh?
You don't know what rice balls are.
And she goes, I reckon that sounds like a good time. And he's like, oh, you're taking the piss out of my accent. Sorry, I just had to do that. I just think it's really funny. I watch every episode twice, by the way.
No, because you pick up different things. But I was thinking about it in terms of like how hard people were looking at the Balenciaga ad campaign. But then if you go to TikTok, people are looking just as hard as all the background shots in White Lotus because they were like compare every painting in the room. And I'm like, think about how hard that has to be. Of like, did Mike White, the creator of White Lotus, like who's the one that puts those paintings in the rooms because they actually inform the scene?
I think it's Mike White. I think that he's like a king of symbolism.
That's fucking genius. Like, you know how hard that is to do?
I know. I would never think of that stuff. If I was a writer or creator, I'd just be like, yeah, just like say the line. Yeah, like I wouldn't like symbolism.
I'll just put you in a plain room and just talk. I don't want to do it.
Even like the opera that Quentin chose for Tanya is like that's
Madame Butterfly, yeah.
Yeah, it's like those little choices are all, informing the audience in some way, but it's all very like smart and intelligent. You have to like be paying attention to pick up on it. Which is like,
it's a smart show. I'm
a dumbass, so I don't know what's going on until I like go on the subreddit and read all the theories.
But do you ever worry that you're going to spoil it for yourself, or do you like?
No, because no one knows. Like no one knows. No one would have guessed last season that freaking Armand
would have pooped in the.
Yeah, Armand was stabbed by Shane because he was taking a shit in his suitcase. Like. No one is going to correctly predict what's going to happen. Like,
but this is what I love about TV too, is that when episode 1 of season 2 aired, like Twitter is such a mess. The Twitter's like, it's already worse than the first season. And then now we're all like, it's the best show ever. ever. Like it was just.
Who said that? You just made that up.
No,
Who
I
said
swear to God, the
that?
first episode,
No,
people were like, it doesn't live up to the second season. It doesn't live up to the first season. And now everybody's
it
like, yeah.
surpasses it. It truly surpasses
Yep.
it. Like, this season is so freaking incredible, you guys.
Oh, I have
Yeah.
sad news to report. And this just, I didn't watch What Happens Live last Sunday. They had, have you heard of this? Freddie was a friend of
Oh my God.
Beverly Hills.
Didn't like 3 people watch that episode?
Yeah, so Freddie Mellencamp and her dad, the Cougs, as Teddy likes to call him, John Mellencamp, got close to the lowest ratings in Watch What Happens Live history, pulling in a 0.256 million viewers, 0.06 in the 18 to 49 demo. So those are really bad. Sorry, Freddie. We were all very excited. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it. I wasn't one of the 5 people that watched. No.
Sophie, are you one of those people that love food?
Do I love food? Yes, I do.
Okay, well, you live in New York City, and I just want to remind people that Craig Conover and Austin Kroll have a new restaurant that is going to be opening in New York City. It's going to be in the West. It's going to be called, it's the West Village neighborhood of Manhattan called Carriage House, and it's set to open in the fall.
Fall of next year?
No. This was an article from the summer, but they just actually did a soft opening for it this past week. And Sierra was there, Julia from Winter House, Austin's sister. But I think it is opening this week, the Craig and Austin restaurant in New York City.
Oh my God. I'm gonna boycott it. I'm sorry.
They need you.
Are the worst.
Dude, so you Salt Lake City, are you watching Salt Lake City this season? You're probably not, right?
No, I am. I'm like a couple episodes behind.
Dude,
I did not watch this past week's episode. I think I'm like several episodes behind.
Well, the 2 episodes before was so boring. Like the men are just like the men are so boring. But this past week's episode was good. But I'm telling you this because I got to speak to a former prisoner of Danbury Prison. And it's going to be on the show this week. Somebody that served in the prison where Jen Shaw most likely will serve her time.
Wait, say that again.
I spoke, like, it'll be on this, like one of the episodes this week on the pod. I spoke to a former prisoner of Danbury Prison where Jen Shaw will most likely be serving her prison time. And she walked me through the whole prison experience.
Oh my God. Wait, so what do we know?
So this lady stayed there for 2 years, and she has the most fascinating story about like Jen, depending on how much time she'll get, if Jen might actually thrive in prison.
I feel like
she might do it like a Teresa Giudice where she has a whole gang, but if she comes in too hot, she might, it could go either way. Those first few weeks, she said, will be very telling in how she'll be treated by the general population. But she was saying, like, it's not that bad either in prison in certain ways. Like, you get assigned a job, but her job was lawn work. And like the COs, the correction officers, they're either your best friend or your worst enemy, depending on the day. But they would let him like go lay out in the lawn. Like they would like, and she was telling me how like the putting money on the books works. And like, you can buy hair. Jen can only buy hair dye of her own hair color. She cannot switch up any kind of hair in prison because that's considered changing your identity. So Jen,
really?
Yeah, but people make their own makeup. She was telling me all these different ways. She created like a skincare cream in there that's like all natural with like lemon and olive oil.
Would I thrive in prison?
I think you would do great in prison. The only thing is they only have one TV for the whole, the cell block you're in. One TV, you all have to choose which one, but they throw birthday parties. She was gay for stay in the prison. She'd had a girlfriend in there.
I feel like I might thrive.
But you don't get, you also, there's a computer room, you guys, but every email is read first before you get to read it. So you don't get to have, but then I was watching TikTok and somehow I got on prison TikTok and I'm like, how are they having phones in prison? Yeah, where they're like, he's making these sandwiches in prison.
Question. When people do prison TikToks, I'm like, so you're allowed cell phones. if I am allowed to have my iPhone, I am fine.
No,
Just put me in the room.
I'll kill somebody right now. I will
cell.
kill somebody right now if I can
Honestly,
do.
that sounds. If I could just be in a padded cell with my cell phone all day, that's
Dude,
fine.
if I could have Netflix, if I could have my Netflix, my HBO
Yeah,
Max, like, do you know how many
yeah.
books
If
I
you
need to catch up on?
yeah, if you have like the streaming apps on your phone and you can have your phone, oh my God, heaven.
Dude, all you
Okay,
need is
I'm
like a
sorry. I
sock.
know this sounds very like ignorant and privileged where we're like, send us off. Send us off. Wait, that was like when I
Oh,
was at my grandparents' senior care living center. I was like, I would fucking thrive here. Like you're just taken care of. You don't need
so
to leave.
Sophie, you're like, with my energy at my age, I could kill it
Yeah.
in this elderly care facility.
I'm like, all your meals are taken care
Yes,
of.
you
The
get to play. You get to
puzzles
play
play with.
games downstairs with other people all day
Yeah.
long if you want.
Yeah, there are so many like puzzles and board games and stuff. Like, hell yeah.
As we start winding down, I do want to bring up one more thing about Winter House. Why is Austin Kroll such a pussy? Like, why is he? I don't understand. Like, do you? Like, why did he say the thing with the grabbing of the dick to the women? Like, when he knew it was on TV, and then all of a sudden he then tries to like just then he goes up to Lindsay and apologizes to her when all them they're like expecting him to call it out, and he's such a little bitch.
Because they love shitting on Lindsay, and that's always what the plan is. Let's take down Lindsay because she's a fan favorite.
But
And
Austin seemed
it always just seems like some sort of like conspiracy that ends up backfiring because Paige and Sierra and whoever it is, they always end up looking like mean girls, which they are because they're always trying to attack Lindsay behind her back, and it's just bizarre. And Austin's probably in on it.
but I say Austin, like he's the guy that will apologize to your face and then talk shit behind your back. He's that guy. He's that guy that went up to Lindsay and go, "Hey, I owe you an apology," when he was supposed to go over and be like, "Did you grab my jaw?" Like, also the whole none of it makes sense. And I think Austin is potentially a big fat liar.
He is. He's full of shit. Austin is full of shit. And also, who cares? That's what I don't get. It's like, who freaking cares if they weren't exclusive yet? Paige, didn't Craig sleep with Naomi? Like
Two
while you guys
times.
were talking twice
Dude,
while you guys were
dude.
talking. Amanda, let's not even get into how many times Kyle has stepped out on you as your freaking fiance. So yeah, I feel like it's just like who gives a shit?
Well, but also Austin coming in there with like, "Oh, poor me, you guys. I was assaulted by Lindsay one night at the wet." Like this dude laid wreckage on Summer House. He tried to sleep with every girl that like, and all of a sudden we're supposed to pity him. Like we're supposed to feel bad for poor Austin can't take care of himself. Oh my God. Oh, like I'm like this. You can't have it both ways.
But I love how Lindsay and Lindsay is just herself. And she was like, wait, you mean after we had McDonald's? We just had McDonald's and fell asleep. I was like, yes, exactly.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
the audience knows happened.
Wait, so reminder, So True with Sophie Ross on Tuesday has Lindsay, and that is going to be a must listen. Do you actually bring up Jason at all?
Yeah, we do talk about Jason.
That was like a really hard conversation to watch on this week as well. I really, but I'm glad we got to see that. He seems like a gentleman.
He is a nice guy. And we talk about the time that I met Jason, and he was like the nicest guy ever when I met him.
Yeah, he just seems like a genuinely nice dude.
Yeah, he
some good news. Zendaya and Tom Holland look like they are close to getting engaged. The kids.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it Zendaya or Zendaya?
Oh, I think it's Zendaya. I'm not
I
good
always
with
say Zendaya too, and then people are like, it's Zendaya. So FYI.
I just like that Us Weekly.
I was just gonna say, remember when we got in like a little mini argument about how to pronounce banal? I pronounced it banal.
And I was like, it's banal.
It's banal. And then like a bunch of listeners were like, it is 1000% banal. And I recorded an episode recently, and my producer, Bob, was like, he said it in the nicest way possible. He was like, hey, you pronounce some words in a way that I had never heard them pronounced before. So just letting you know if you want to re-record those bits.
Wait,
I pronounced Barrage, but it's barrage. It reminded me of that.
Wait,
Banal
so if
barrage.
you listen to Soju with Sophie, you'll hear a thing of like, there was a barrage of text, like you
Yeah.
re-putting words. By
Yeah,
the way,
exactly.
I remember that conversation too, because I'm so not confident that I was like, it probably is banal. I'm probably wrong.
Banal.
It probably is banal. Like it probably is. So
Banal.
Zendaya, I
I'm
just
the queen of banal.
no. Okay. Zendaya and Tom Holland are in quote settling down mode, planning for a real future together. Us Weekly. This is hysterical. Imagine if you and your dude, like Us Weekly, had an article of like, so Sophie Ross and her dude are quote settling down mode, planning for a real future together. Isn't that like so silly in a way? Of like, could you imagine having your relationship written about in like an Us Weekly article?
Do you think that do you think that's for real though?
I do think they do actually seem like just like really both kind of head on straight good people, but like
Okay.
I just think yeah I do, but like good for them. They seem like but like I just think it's also funny just pop culture in the sense of that's an actual article. Like they are doing very well together. Like that's the article.
Like,
Good for them.
thank you, us.
Yes.
Very cool.
Congratulations to Selena Gomez, who hits 360 million Instagram followers. That is a hell of a lot of Instagram followers. And let's see here. Brad Pitt is dating a lady named Ines de Ramon. She used to be with Paul Wesley from the Vampire Diaries. There's a 28-year age difference, but this is reported from Radar Online. She's very pretty. She speaks 4 different languages. So Brad Pitt supposedly has a new boo.
Oh my god,
Um,
he loves intellectuals.
yes, yeah, dude, that's what it says in the article. It says they have converse. He goes, she's a very smart woman and understands what it's like to be with an actor and how deep they get into their work. And I'm like,
Okay.
how hard is it to understand being with an like what like you deserve a prize for being with an
Yeah.
actor?
Yeah. Also, like, what do they call that? Like sapiosexual, where it's like you're just attracted to someone's brain.
It,
Like, I
no,
think
no. So Sophie, it's called
rebrand Brad Pitt.
sapiosexual.
Is it really?
No, it's sapio. It's
I
sapio.
can't fucking pronounce shit, you guys. I'm sorry.
Andrew Garfield is dating Phoebe Dynevor from
Oh,
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton girl.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
finally, I just wanted your take since you are a New Yorker. How did you feel when you saw Pete Davidson and Emrata on the floor at the Knicks game?
Oh my God. I actually talked about this with Lindsay on the episode that's coming out Tuesday. But I think they did not have any like chemistry. Like their body language was very much giving like platonic friendship.
What's he wearing too these days? What is it? What outfits are he? Who's dressing Pete
I don't
Davidson?
know what he was wearing. It was some like velour tracksuit, but Emrata was wearing a North Face and like jeans and boots, which I think is like a normal Emrata outfit. Um, but yeah, it's just like so predictable. I think that Emrata, of course, um, by the way, I'm watching the Bengals game right
Yeah,
now.
no. I can tell you're looking up, and I'm like, how's your guy doing?
Yeah, the Bengals are on right now.
Is
I'm
he is
not
he winning or losing?
knock on wood, we're winning right now, but by the time you guys listen to this episode, it could have a totally different outcome. Um, but I think that Emrata with her new podcast, she needed, she needs her name in the news. And I think that there's no other way to get someone's name turned into memes and shit than dating Pete Davidson.
And
It
also,
always
you got
turns into a meme. It's like, how does he do it? His Riz needs to be studied at Harvard. And it's like, no, he is.
well, also you got
So
to remember, you guys. There's a reason he was on the floor at the Knicks game. Like he wants to be seen. They want to be seen.
exactly. They
Like
want
remember
to
that.
be
Like just
seen.
remember that. Like when you're on the floor, it's like like Pete Davidson is smart enough, and so is Emrata, to know that that is what they're there for. They're there to have a photograph taken of them that gets pushed out to all of us. So that is part of the deal.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. And then wait, where do you stand on Julia Fox?
I like Julia Fox.
I
There were some things recently that I did not love. Um, Oh my God, I can't even remember what it
It was like
but I,
she said what kind of bothered me lately is that she got taking a hard turn on her. She said she dated a Kanye. She took a bullet for Kim.
oh yeah,
And
I was like, shut up. That's such bullshit.
yeah, like
And
no, because remember, guys, remember in January when she was like all like she did a series of articles for Interview Magazine of like my date with Kanye, the vibes were right. We got up and we were dancing in the restaurant, and somebody TikToked it, and none of that was happening. Like she was so into the attention that she was getting. Remember when Kanye threw to her birthday party and bought her a bunch of those fancy purses or Birkins? And she was like, "Oh my God,
yeah,
Kanye, I love you." She loved it so much. And now a year later, she's like, I took one for I knew that I had to get him away from her
yeah,
for
like
Kim's sake.
please, Julia, like don't take us for fools. I've given her a lot of leeway. I have even unironically stand her. But yeah, that was bullshit. She also, I didn't listen to it, but like her on Emrata's pod. I have so many thoughts about Emrata in general. I think that I saw someone describe her like brand of feminism as hot lives matter. And so accurate. It's so accurate. Like her feminist platitudes are like, I'm sexy. I have sex and I'm an intellectual and I read the news.
She can do
Like
it all.
that's the brand of feminism. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
what? And so her and Julia Fox's conversation, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I saw some tidbits from it. I'm like, shut up, you two.
Yeah,
Just
like
shut
that's
up.
what, and it's like, enough with the drawing on of the eyebrows. And I'm just kind of over the whole thing because it's like,
Yeah.
but regardless, yeah. Also, the thing I put together is that Kanye on the Alex Jones thing to wrap it all in a bow. He said something about having a threesome. He said, I've been, the devil had me earlier in the year. Last New Year's Eve, I had a threesome in Miami. And then I went back. I was like, that sounds familiar. Where was he? That was the night he met Julia Fox. And he said he had a threesome on New Year's Eve. So Julia Fox had a threesome with Kanye West and somebody else. I'm assuming if I put that together correctly. Like,
I was the third person.
dude, Sophie Ross, ladies and gentlemen, from So True with Sophie Ross. Tuesday, Lindsay Hubbard is coming on. I am so damn excited to listen to that interview. The Substack, you guys, Sophie.Ross at Substack. What is it, Sophie?
Sophie Ross on Substack.com. I actually just wrote about the White Lotus and some other stuff. So go read it.
And yeah, do you guys get into the White Lotus? I think there's like 3 episodes left, I
Two.
think. Oh.
One after tonight's.
And there's only 2 more episodes of Winter House left too, so I'm kind of bummed all
Oh my
around.
God. The White Lotus and Winter House. Like they need to like have alternate schedules so we have one or the other.
But then
airing.
February is looking up because it has Summer House, Vanderpump Rules, and Jersey return.
That's gonna be so lit.
Yeah. Okay. Sophie, I am really hungover and I'm gonna go to a bar and drink more now.
Have fun. Wait, so what's this Madonna thing you're going to?
Yeah. So I guess it's this gay bar that's like spinning all Madonna. I don't know. Like it's my buddy Dusty and his husband.
Oh.
So it's a bunch of but we always have a blast. I've been having a blast. I'm just really wildly hungover.
Oh, well, tell your buddy Dusty that I say hi.
Will do.
A fellow member of the tribe.
Yeah, guys. Remember, Holocaust did happen. Let's go through the week.
It did happen,
and very serious, and put good vibes out there into the world, and not this bullshit that's out there right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Soph.
Okay. Thanks. Genocide is bad.